Let's come to the first thing, shall we? And that is the director and the producer of the film. So the director is Kevin Reynolds, who has directed probably around 9 or 10 films, which includes the following three which are really good films. Red Dawn from 1984, which starred Martin Sheen and Patrick Swayze in the lead. Then you have Waterworld, which is another Kevin Costner film from 1995. And finally, The Count of Monte Carlo. So let's come to the producer, which is Richard Barton Lewis, who produced Backdraft, which is the 1991 hit film starring Kurt Russell and William Baldwin in the leads. More on this film will come out very soon as it's in the plan of being done. And the final film for him is Buffalo Soldier, which had a wide cast, but one of the main ones in it was Danny Glover, who had previously worked on the franchise of The Lethal Weapon as one of the leads in that film. So let's now come to the second thing, which is the cast of this great film. The first one to be mentioned is the lead, Kevin Costner. He's had quite a rich film history, going the span from 1981 till the present time, and he's been in films such as The Untouchables in 1987, um, Dances with the Wolves in 1990, obviously this film, Robin Hood, JFK also 1991, A Perfect World in 93, which I believe, if I've got it right, is actually a Clint Eastwood directed film. I'll check on that now. Indeed, it was, and also Clint Eastwood starred in that film. 92 was had Beyond JFK, Question of Conspiracy and Bodyguard, which was the year before The Perfect World. Waterworld in 95, which is another film of his, obviously. Postman in 97. We'll just end there with that because we've got several films there of his. Now let's consider the supporting cast of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, shall we? And I've taken four people here who, in their own right in the film, really stand out. You have Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater, Alan Rickman, and Sean Connery. Beginning with Morgan Freeman. So he starred in Unforgiven, a Clint Eastwood film, Million Dollar Baby, also a Clint Eastwood directed film, The Shawshank Redemption, The Dark Knight Trilogy, Seven, Born to Be Wild, Rita Moreno, Glory, Gone Baby Gone, March of the Penguins, Sydney, Driving Miss Daisy, and the Lego Movie. So there are just a short number of his films. There's obviously been many others over the years which are equally as good as those, but with these films in view, we see how Morgan Freeman's acting career has been defined, directed, and shaped by his great on-screen presence. So the next person in view is Christian Slater, who has been in quite a number of films from 1985 onwards. And here are just a couple of those films to be mentioned. Young Guns 2, 1990. Um, Star Trek 6, True Romance, Interview with the Vampire, Broken Arrow, where he starred alongside John Travolta, Hard Rain. We'll stop there with Christian Slater, but nonetheless, he is a great actor in his own right and should be recognised as such. Let's come to the next person, and that's Alan Rickman. He's had quite a extensive film history as well. He started out with the film Die Hard in 1988, where he played the bad guy opposite Bruce Willis. And from there, he's been in other films such as Judas Kiss, uh, Galaxy Quest. He was in all of Harry Potter's, where he was one of the people that made those films what it is. Love Actually, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and various other films. But as I said, he's also a great actor in his own right. And the final guy is Sean Connery, and he's had quite a film history as well, starting with the titular character of James Bond in all those films in the 60s. He was in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He's been in various other films. The Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes. So there you are. Four other people, apart from Kevin Costner, in this film that made this film great. So let's come to the third thing, which is the musical score to this great film. So all the music was composed, orchestrated, and conducted by Michael Kamen, who, who has actually had quite a musical film score history. And just to give a few examples of where his music has been used, which makes the films actually really good. You have Highlander in 1986. You have Lethal Weapon in 1987. You have Die Hard in 1988. Um, A License to Kill in 1989. And Lethal Weapon 2 and Roadhouse also in that same year. Die Hard 2 in 1990. This film, that is Robin Hood. The Last Boy Scout as well in 1991. The, the third installment of Lethal Weapon. We'll end there. Actually, one last one. Last Action Hero in 93. So these are films that he has put forth great musical scores for. Now let's consider the current film, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and the songs that are associated with it or were written especially for it, shall we say. One, Overture, A Prisoner of the Crusades. Sir Guy of Gisborne, The Escape to Sherwood. Little John, The Band in the Forest. The Sheriff and His Witch. Maid Marian, Training, Robin Hood, the Prince of Thieves, Marian at the Waterfall, The Abduction, The Final Battle at the Gallows, and the final one is Wild Times. There is one I haven't mentioned for the simple reason that I'm now going to speak to it, and that is the massive theme song of the film, sung by Bryan Adams in 1991. Everything I do for you. This song really catapulted the film as well because of the fact that the video to the song in its original form, I would say, was a homage to the film. It had scenes from the film, and it spent, I believe, 12 weeks at number one. If let me just check that. No, I was slightly out. 16 weeks at number one from the 7th of July 91 to the 27th of October, and then it dropped to number four. So you see the actual music of this film is actually well regarded, particularly this song. So let us now come to the fourth thing that makes this film a great film for anyone to watch, and that is both the budget and the income. The budget was 48 mil, and the income was 390.5 mil. So you see just how well this film done in its original release. Now let's consider a little more of this film as to its breakdown. So in its opening weekend, it grossed 25 million. In the second weekend, it grossed a further 18.3 million. It eventually earned 390 million in the global box office, making it the second highest grossing film of 1991, immediately behind Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It had the second best opening to date for a non-sequel. So there's just a little bit of the blurb about this film. To this, I'm just going to add the fact that the critics actually praised the film for the performance of both Freeman and Rickman, and that alone shows just who really held this film up. Other uh, reviews were more praiseworthy. What the Washington Post, for example, under the penshipment of Desson Thompson, said this: "Fair damsels and noble sirs, you must free yourselves of the wearisome observations. This is a state-of-the-art retelling of a classic." So you see that the box office and the ultimate reviews of the film were great.